Welcome to The One Thing, where each episode features our signature segment, Pandora's Box. We dive into hot topics that challenge the norm and ignite real conversation.
Inspired by Greek mythology, Pandora's Box isn't just about chaos. It's about truth, transformation and hope. That's what we bring to every conversation.
Have a cause or business that deserves to be seen? Want to be remembered forevermore? Be our next special guest. Contact us today at theonething@edgeradioaustralia.com.
And you're listening to The One Thing on Edge Radio Australia, and we're today joined by our very special guest, who I'm going to introduce in a minute. I'd like to introduce our co-hosts, which I'm sure you already know, Leanne Jones and Aaron Malloy. And we're not going to spend too much time chit-chatting today because this is one of the most serious topics that we've ever had. And Martine actually has her own show, so we're very lucky to have her on today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Martine Shepherd. She is a mother, healer, meditation coach, Enviro warrior, and as I just said, an Edge radio presenter. She's worn many hats, travelled and lived around the world, and settled to the part of the planet that has called her back for the collective wisdom, skills and knowledge she has developed in her 5 decades on what she calls terra firma. She is currently campaign coordinator mission for Save Our Beloved Geographe Bay. For those of you listening in other parts of the world, Geographe Bay is a beautiful landscape, the southwest of Perth in Western Australia, and brings to the surface a tenacious masculine energy that even shocks her of the fortitude and miraculous push through to overcome massive global issues. This young woman deals with young. She's laughing.
Is young.
She's
saying
younger than us.
That and run
You
with
can
it.
tell I'm getting old, actually, because I keep thinking everyone's young.
You're not
dealing,
old, Lisa.
dealing with government and bureaucrats, fully indoctrinated and compromised, is eyebrow raising. And yes, she's raising her eyebrows now, but after listening to this, we're all going to be raising our eyebrows, and nauseating at times. And after I saw one of these photographs that Martine is going to be presenting today, I completely understand where she's coming from. But part of a process of people taking back their power and setting the puppets straight who they are meant to work for. Aaron, I think this lady means business.
She's very serious about what she does. She doesn't mess around. It is an absolute pleasure to invite to the mic where she belongs, talking to the world, sharing all this amazing knowledge.
Martine's on the mic.
Martine is on the mic, the host of Martine's Eco and Country Bites, an absolute, a jewel in the crown of Edge, and somebody who does so much wonderful work for the environment and the country. Hey, Martine, how you going?
I'm good. It's been a very, very challenging few weeks, but you know what? I got across the line. I'm keeping ticking boxes as I go. So,
Absolutely.
I say I'm like juggling while strapped on the back of a rocket, while strapped on the back of something else going out into space.
Whilst wearing fins.
Yeah, that's probably right. And a mermaid outfit.
Yeah. Well, you are a mermaid, so yeah.
So an easy week. Okay, cool.
Walk in the park.
All right, well, let's jump straight into it. This is a big subject because obviously there's a symposium coming up, which we're very much behind and part of. Could you just give us an idea of what we're doing down there in Fremantle on the 7th?
Yeah, so 7th of November, it's going to be what we know as one of the very first of its kind in the world. So it's really putting Australia and WA on the map for holding this kind of a symposium where all the issues are actually discussed in the one room, not just about fisheries, not just about underwater cabling and all of those individual issues. We're bringing them all together with expert panel. And we have the incredible Megan Lapp, who she has been fighting against offshore wind turbines for 10 years, and she is going to be presenting. Wow, is she a wealth of knowledge? When you talk about eco warriors and warrior women, you're not going to get anyone more like that than Megan.
And what an expert.
Yeah.
She knows her stuff.
Yeah.
And this is what we need to do. Look, education and information is key. People need to know the truth about what's going on, not the spin, not the rubbish that you're going to see with particular ministers, with people like Bowen, who's far more excited about being a TikTok star than he is actually
social
a
media
servant.
guru. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, rather than be a servant of the people. So, no, to have Megan, and also we've got some other politicians involved as well, which is great to see.
Yeah, we've got Senator Malcolm Roberts.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so last year when we had the great debate over here, I interviewed him and I actually kind of nicely put the hard word on him about if he'd come over and talk about the offshore wind turbines and the absolute swindle and Ponzi scheme that is, how intermittent energy supply is going to destroy the nation. And he's very much a numbers man, but he's also got a science background, so he's kind of got a double degree. And his expertise is absolutely second to none. The man is an powerhouse. We see eye to eye, literally, don't we, Mr. Senator Roberts? Anyway, so he's going to be here, Tyron Witten, who has taken up the baton for
Tyron's doing
WA.
some great work.
Well done, Tyron.
Hats off, mate.
Thank you very much. From so many communities and issues in WA, he's there totally championing things for WA.
As a WA senator, that's your job, right? You're literally there to represent West Australians, and that's what Tyron's doing. So far, what I've seen, I'm very impressed with. Something you brought up a moment ago about Ponzi schemes and all that. I make it to me, it cannot be more clear. This is a money laundering operation.
Absolutely.
This is not about the environment. If you care about whether
I want to just pipe in just there,
pipe
right?
away.
Because most people think this is a sustainable power future. This is the way of the future.
Yep.
Why is it not?
Wow, there's a good image for it.
Do you know what I mean? Like
there's the image.
Oh, there you go.
Does that look like something that's good for nature, sustainable? So we're talking about putting metals out over high corrosive environments. We're looking at all of that out in an environment that becomes quite precarious many times of the year. So when you're talking about the things that we need to look at is where the ideology of this green pipe dream to do with these renewables is all signed up under the Paris Accord Agreement.
Yep.
As well as the GOA agreement. So the Global Offshore Wind Alliance, and that was perpetuated entirely by the Danish. Good on you, Mary and co and all that over there. Thanks. You forgot about us already, didn't you? So look, I can say that those nations that are struggling because financially they don't have the resources, they don't have what we have in Australia. We are a great nation to come and siphon money off because of our raw resources. We are a resource-rich nation, like WA in itself could be its own nation.
Very easily.
Yeah, so they know that. And so Australia sold out.
I'm sorry, who is they?
The Danish.
The Danish.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the Danish came up with the Global Offshore Wind Alliance. And so that's why Copenhagen Energy, Copenhagen Infrastructure Partners all got their fingers in all of these pots. That's why you don't really go over to Denmark and ask what their truth and facts are about how good it is for the environment, as some ministers have recently done, which as far as not ministers, but MPs have done, and made statements that offshore wind and the fisheries can go hand in hand. There's not a problem. Yeah, let's back away from that conversation.
Absolutely. Just jumping back to that picture that was just up a moment ago, if we could.
Sure.
The one that looks like an oil rig, okay, because that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Now, if we've got honesty and we've got transparency and we're actually having proper consultation with the people of the area, with the community, which is what the job of a politician is to do in these inquiries.
Absolutely.
Isn't it interesting that they forgot to paint those in the artist's impression?
Yeah.
They didn't show that. They show all of these. Yeah, omitted. Okay. Well, you know what?
Yeah,
omission is a great way of lying. And by not showing the massive amount of those which would be out there, you are literally selling a false story. Now, forgetting about the aesthetics, which is very ugly, and we can probably lose that ugly picture now.
That's what they do.
The aesthetics is one thing. The reality is it's not sustainable energy. This is not about me loving coal or loving this or loving that. This is about actually genuinely caring about the environment and the jobs and the future of our children and our grandchildren. This is nothing but money laundering. Full stop. It has, the science shows very clearly that what they're doing is lying.
Yeah. So when we go back to what you were just talking about, sustainability. So this is where ideology and modelling that was done incredibly poorly. Even the gentleman that came up with the modelling that this climate hysteria has created has said that it wasn't actually well done.
Right.
And so a lot of the data sets that were used from cities where they have very low vegetation. So there were hotspots on the planet already, and use that data to build upon as the norm, which was false. That's not actually how data comes together.
No.
Anyway, so what you'll see is that the language and the way that they discuss these issues is very telling. So words like habitat protection and making sure that biodiversity is protected.
Sure.
Sustainability. They're the three terms that are missing from this whole equation, and that tells you where we've pivoted away from ecology-based science, where it's proven we know how to look at a whole ecosystem and to look at it so that we are approaching it, that the environmental impact assessment and studies that have been done way before you even put an industry in a whole new environment, all the boxes, the checks done, all the consultation, stakeholders, all those issues have been addressed, and none of that was done. This is a steamrolled attempt by not only Labor, but Liberals did sign up for this as well. So this is where it's really disconcerting that yesterday in Parliament that the One Nation put forward about scrapping net zero, and all the rhetoric that's been going on from those individuals that are saying, yeah, let's scrap net zero, but they didn't stand in with the One Nation. They're not standing with the people of Australia. That was super disappointing.
Sorry, just reaffirm
Really
what you just
angry.
said. Which party did not stand?
So the Liberals, they abstained. So did the Nationals. So the Nationals and the Liberals abstained from voting, and that's as much, again, omitting where things are really at. So they're saying one thing, they're not putting into action.
Just cowardly.
So going back to that picture, that picture is essentially like an oil rig, and there's going to be 5 to 6 of those per project in general.
Okay.
But it sort of equates to they need a substation that's bringing intermittent energy. Yes. So it's direct current to alternating current, and that's why they need the substations there. So what they'll do is that then the substation then pumps that and converts that, brings it on land. And so that you've got all these subsea cables that are networked in a grid that emit immense amounts of EMF.
Oh, this doesn't run off Bluetooth.
So
so they have 5 or 6
talk about
per
the
project.
ecosystem that this will. What will happen to those ecosystems where these things are placed?
Okay, so what you've got to look at, so there's going to be about 15 just off the WA coastline where...
And we will be able to see them?
Of course.
In all their
they have to be,
grandeur.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's why they took them off, and they admitted in the first consultation that they didn't put them on these visuals because people might be upset at how bad they looked.
Do they have them on land as well?
I'm going to go back.
Substations?
They didn't want to put it on there because it looked bad.
Yeah.
So it's a tourism capital.
So hide it.
So let's hide it. That's exactly what the federal government did. So when it comes to that, so you've got to work out that the reason why these stations are out there is because they're transferring one type of energy to another.
Yep.
And so with that, there is a huge amount of cooling that's required, which means that what's happening is they've got a huge pumping station through there, and so they're going to have to cool it down continually. And in that, they're using huge amounts of salt water from the ocean, and then they're emitting it out. So what happens is it becomes hot. So hot hypersaline, so we're changing the stratification of the water. You're changing the
the molecular
salinity
structure of the water.
Yeah, totally.
True.
And then also they use bleach to keep
that's
all
disgusting.
the algae and bacteria from breeding up inside.
But this sounds so healthy for the environment.
It's great.
This is what really annoys me.
And so you've got hyper hot bleached water going out en masse. I don't know how much it is per hour. I have to go back and look at the figures. But please go and look. If you just go and Google, or not Google, go and use Brave or Yandex or something else, it'll give you the true answer. How much salt water is emitted through offshore substations for offshore wind turbines, how many gallons, it'll be in gallons because it'll be all from the US because they are being truthful. What's being emitted, how much per hour and per day, and it's horrifying. It'll cause such hotspots in the ocean that it will kill so much. It causes algae blooms. It causes death of larvae.
I would say it would be the energy emitted from these things would also cause marine animals to suffer. And the reason I say that is because even it's been proven around big electrical substations on land, people who live close to them end up with
all sorts of different
That's right.
ailments.
Disorders, yeah.
So can you imagine what that would be like in an ocean where current is actually, when it's wet, it goes even further. So you would think it would go and spread out even more. So
It's a
it
good
affect
point.
even more.
Look,
So
this
that's
symposium.
EMF.
I don't know. I'm just
No,
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 you've
no.
got,
there.
just put one of your photographs up.
So what it is that the EMF that's being emitted from the subsea cables actually causes paralysis in invertebrates. So that's in particular affecting the rock lobster migration. So what happens, many people probably don't know that. That's kind of my background is marine science. And so rock lobster migrate from Geographe Bay the whole way up to Kalbarri, and they're called whites. And what it is when they molt, they are white, and then they migrate up along the coastline. When you cut through a reef system to lay high voltage cables, that disturbs them because they're used to a certain pathway. They travel through magnetic grids that are natural across the planet.
Sure.
So that's how they migrate. That's how all migratory birds do, through that magnetic field. So creating artificial EMF in the water stops them from migrating the way that they do. So they go in and out from the coastline and up and along the coastline. So they don't particularly know all the facts of why. I mean, I haven't seen anyone interview a rock lobster and be able to get that out of them. But if anyone speaks fluent rock lobster, let us know.
Let's get Jordan Peterson onto this one. He likes to talk to the old lobster.
Well,
I would say
there's
that
a few
part of it
politicians I know that might be.
Part of it might be that they intrinsically know that they have to, certain percentage needs to migrate for DNA distribution, so they're not inbreeding.
Okay.
So that's an inbuilt thing. We think that's what part of that interpretation is. And by stopping that, then you can get inbreeding.
Now,
we've got all kinds of issues.
Let me take off the environmental hat for a moment, okay? Yeah. Let's talk about economics. Let's talk about the industries that you were destroying. The rock lobster industry, which is absolutely fundamental to the success in this state.
The whole fishing industry.
I'm speaking from a West Australian point of view, and I don't mean to. Obviously, I'm parochial because that's where I am. But we're talking right around the world. This is happening.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got friends in the cray industry, and I think about the fact that they're losing their entire, well, I was just going to say,
the take area is what it is. So they have a license for a take area. So what happens is that they're being pushed out because the government is rolling out this ridiculous marine park system that's covering the whole bottom half of Australia now. That's being lobbied by Pew in the US. So they're trying to lock us out of our oceans, saying that, again, there's lies and manipulation on fish stocks. No, that is false. And fishermen everywhere going, there's nothing wrong with the fish stocks. They're great. They're fully recovered, especially the jewfish, the rock lobster, demersal fish all throughout Western Australia.
There's been some good regulation, right?
Totally.
But literally, where they've reduced the amount of fish boats out there, so it is a sustainable sort of industry now, okay? Maybe there was time in the past it wasn't, and we learned from our mistakes. But on this one, we're not. We are just shifting money around. And the damage we're doing to, it's a very basic thing. Human beings need to eat. And if you're taking away their food source, and that's what's happening here, we are literally moving Australia's food source offshore. By having these marine parks,
we're consumers.
Spot on. Right, we do not become producers. We become consumers and consumers only. So it's detrimental to us on so many different levels. Obviously, the environmental issue is a very important one of them. But there are a lot of families who are relying on this. It's
generational too. It's just like farming. So it's generational fishing, and it's passed on the knowledge from father and uncle to son and nephew, and they share that wisdom in those areas, and they know that like the back of their hand. And so what they're doing is destroying all of these industries that have been the backbone of our nation, that keep our communities strong, put really good sustainable sources of protein and keep us strong and us healthy on our plate. So what it is through what's called a spatial disbursement. So when a whole offshore wind turbine zone goes in, so there's a large area that you can't take from because it's not either safe or they're no longer going to be found there because they are either dying or they are moving away because they're disturbed and they're no longer thriving as communities. So there's lots of different factors. What will happen is that eventually it closes in. So they will take away the fishing licenses, and I guarantee you they will not compensate. They will never bring them back, and we have lost all of our fisheries.
And is that what is that
Part
one
of
of
the
the
plan.
biggest
Absolutely.
and
World
is it
Economic
one of the
Forum.
biggest fears that, because you speak to a lot of fishermen?
Yeah.
That's one of their biggest fears.
Oh, it is happening now.
Yeah.
Right now, the government
Wow,
is
okay.
actively trying to shut down all fisheries.
Well, they did try
in
to
Australia.
shut us out of fishing as well, because
Of course.
we ended up having to have just as
Yes.
recreational.
Yeah.
You have to have a license. You can't fish here. You can't fish there.
Hang on, and let's look at this beautiful
it's
picture.
Beautiful.
Look at this gorgeous picture that's on the screen now. Now, I don't know about you, but wouldn't that look better with just a sea of nothing but oil rigs and fans in the distance? Do you think that would just look beautiful? I am blown
disturbing.
away.
And what's the
It is.
lifespan of those things, really?
Oh,
And what
So they
happens?
say
They
25
rust.
years, but it's a lie because we already know that they've had blade breakages.
Yeah.
It's a tornado alley there in Bunbury. We already know that. That's what's happened. There's people that are still not in their homes.
And then they fall down. They're in the ocean, and then that's more pollution.
even forgetting when they're not
For
falling
so
down, when
good.
they're losing blades,
Yeah, I
right?
know,
Masses of
There's nowhere to get rid of them.
No.
Is there?
no, there's not.
They
Masses
say,
of
it can be
fiberglass.
recycled. And I'm saying, that's sure. So what you're saying is we're going to recycle them. And when I've asked the proponents that were there at the stakeholder consultation by the DCCEEW, they said that no, they're never going to build one of those recycling plants in Australia. So those who say that this is reducing CO2, absolute garbage, because they'll be putting on big shipping containers and sending them off to third world nations to either bury or recycle them to their own detriment, because they're full of PFASs, they're all of these other things that are really bad once you start breaking them down into microfibers. So no,
They end up as
It's not good for
landfill
the
in
environment.
Indonesia.
course they
Normally,
do.
is that's the
India
norm.
too. That's
India
what
as
Germany's
well.
done. They've
So
bought
what
a
can
huge
the
area.
average person do about this?
You need to get on the blower to your local MP and say this is a disgrace that we are throwing all of these coastal communities. It's starting off in Geographe Bay, but there are 6 zones scheduled for WA.
Yeah.
That's just
have
us
you
alone.
found
Then you've got
that
East Coast.
Geographe Bay have come on board? The people you've been speaking to down
Oh, look,
there?
I don't know many people that support it at all. I mean, you do get the odd troll on the community page that'll get on there. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, really? Really? So I consult with experts worldwide all day, every day, week in, week out, almost 2 years now, but I wouldn't know.
But the general public down there,
Yeah, no one really
they
supports
don't
it.
no? Okay.
There are people that really don't have the information as well. And then there's been a lot on mainstream media. This is on you. You have only perpetuated the whole narrative that there are a number of proponents that have withdrawn, but you've never shown the statistics or shown people in the city that there are 3 major projects down there that are a huge area. It's 10 times the size of Singapore.
Education is going
10
to be the
times
key
the
here.
size of Singapore. Come on, Australians.
Can I just say, we've got people viewing. What we'd really appreciate, even if you're watching live or you're watching the replay, come in and comment. If you're angry about this, if you want things
Ask
to
a question.
change, because there's just so much apathy, and we all sit back and we let people like Martine go and do all the hard yards. But if everybody spoke up, then things like this wouldn't happen. And just whilst I've got the microphone, because everyone's so passionate in this room, I just wanted to ask Martine, how did this come about? Because my understanding is that this was your brainchild. Is that correct?
Are you talking about the symposium?
I'm talking about the symposium.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I spoke to Senator Malcolm Roberts at the Great Debate, I always was in my mind all the experts I have been speaking to worldwide. I felt like it was collecting all this wisdom and this knowledge, and everyone was so committed on the same level. I'm like, we can bring these together. I know that whether it's the people skills and connecting with those people because they see the same passion and commitment. And I was saying to them as we were going along, would you be prepared? Would you be? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm in, count me in, count me in. And they were if I say it, I'm going to make it happen kind of people. And I was like, I've got your number.
Yeah,
and I do.
I've got you. Yeah.
And she did. She wouldn't leave me alone.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
And why Edge Radio Australia? Why are we involved?
Well, what it is that when you're going out and coordinating in a community for quite a large project as this, because it is, even though it's one event, it's a large project because you've got to do promotion. You need to understand who your audience is. And Edge Radio, we have been really committed to that, not only in my segment, but supporting it on the wider community. And I think, as far as I'm concerned, it was a no-brainer that Edge was going to be part of hosting this and coordinating it, because it's seen Australia-wide now that we've been heavily involved in bringing the truth and so many interviews for those experts to have a proper platform where their science, where their data, where the real facts have been presented. And there really hasn't been anyone else that's done it on the same platform. I mean, certainly Robin with Courage is the Cure is doing the same.
Yeah.
But in this stuff, it's like we have been leading that across the board and everyone sort of has recognised that.
So can anyone
important.
buy a ticket and attend? And is it going to be live streamed or is it just physical?
Yes, no. So it's going to, we're hoping to record it and show it the next day.
Okay.
Because I'm a bit concerned that people are going to a lot of effort and putting their money in their pocket, have committed to doing that. To just telecast it free to people straight away, I think is a bit disrespectful. That's how I feel. We're still in negotiation. Feedback from you would be great.
Yeah.
How you feel about it, please let us know. I think that recording it and then having it come on board maybe the next day and having that as a bit of a marathon session during the next day, I think might be a really good idea. But certainly Robin is going to be there on the night doing some coverage for it, interviewing people and having some discussion, some like audience discussion, which is great. It's really important.
For sure. I think I just want to reaffirm the fact that I want people there. I want bums on seats.
You need tickets. You need to
really
be there.
do, because it also speaks to the politicians. People, they don't care so much if they see it, online. They see it if they see a room full of people being passionate, actually saying what they really care about.
Yeah.
People power will matter.
It does matter.
Get your butts on those seats. It really does matter.
Leanne, do you want to read that out?
I sure will. So, Ian Horseman, thank you for your comment.
Thanks,
Hi,
Ian.
people. I'm in your line. We are doing ourselves, the country, the flora and the fauna a huge injustice, and we need to put an end to it. We can do that at the ballot box, but we must get everyone to understand why. Can I read the rest of it?
The computer is covering that up.
I understand the voting system, that is the preferences, etc. And he put music signs.
Okay.
Cheers.
There we go.
So thank you for commenting, Ian.
true.
Great
Encourage
comment, Ian.
everyone else that's listening, please comment, have your say.
Yeah, we have thrown flora and fauna, so Ian's right over it. So that's about preservation of biodiversity and certainly endangered species watch. We're definitely going to segue into that. A lot of species that are endangered in WA and around Australia.
Let's have a very quick break. Back in just a tick. It's Edge Radio Australia, the one thing.
Is pain holding you back? Bowen Therapy with Panacea Healing can change that for you. It's never too late to recharge your health, career, or purpose. You have the power within yourself to change what no longer serves you, taking your life and health to another level. panaceahealing.com.au. You can do anything.
Edge Radio Australia, the one thing. Thank you so much for joining us, and also thank you so much for sharing it. If you're on the good old YouTube, if you could like, share, do the subscribe thing, really appreciate it, because this is an issue that's not going away.
No.
We need to actually get together. We actually have put our collective power together and make a difference. Please do that. Really appreciate everybody's help. When it comes to every volunteer who can step forward, anybody, no matter what you can do, just that little bit, it makes a difference.
Are there any petitions or anything online that people can sign, or anything that's easy for them to do? Because I know the hardest thing is you saying get hold of your local politician, blah, blah, blah. But if they have something that's easy for them to do, they'll do it.
So we've done a number of petitions. We had a state petition and federal petition last year to actually have them review the whole consultation process.
Yeah.
We had the Senate inquiry, which they cancelled our testimonial.
Mm-hmm.
We had recently Tyron Whitten put forward.
So can I interrupt you?
Mm-hmm.
Who cancelled? The Greens.
Yeah.
The Greens. So
Senator
if anybody's
Sarah
there,
Very
Hanson
green
Young.
of the Greens.
Yeah, she's such a lovely individual, isn't she? She's so well liked, Senator Hanson Young.
isn't she?
Yeah.
Now, hang on. If the Greens are
fan
there for
club.
the environment, no, they're not. Okay. Just always remember, when it comes to the Greens, they are the watermelon party. Okay.
Yeah.
They're red on the inside. They're just communists, and really the damage that they're doing to this country. If you vote Green, you're not wasting your vote. You're actually damaging your country. Please.
I don't understand how there are not processes that stop this kind of corruption. That's what I want to know. How is it that we can cancel the testimonial of the people who these people are working for?
Correct.
How do we cancel it on them when they have turned up to Canberra? They're in Canberra ready to testify, and you cancel it the day before.
Is that why you
Zero
call them
account-
puppets?
Sorry?
Is that why you call them puppets?
No, they're not
politicians.
just puppets. They're compromised.
Yeah, that's
Sold
right.
their souls. It's
Yeah,
like-
the whole
that when you
Green
do
Party.
that-
Yeah, I'm going to play the political arm here,
Gosh.
though. But honestly, if you vote for the Greens or you vote for the Labor Party, you are voting for communism. You are voting for control, and people have this idea that the Labor Party are for the everyday worker. That has had that was over a very, 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 very long time ago. This is you are voting, and I'm not saying, by the way, please don't think I'm promoting liberal or anything here. Do your research. You vote for who suits you. But those two parties,
Wise up, though.
yeah, wise up. Those two parties do not work for the everyday Australian. They are damaging it. They are selling this country down the river for profit and quite frankly, filling their own pockets
For a very long time.
for a very long time.
Yeah, things haven't changed in a while. So, yeah, we've got a couple of images here, number 3 and going forward,
Okay.
of some of the endemic species that are going to be put at risk if we don't stop this. Because
Do you want
That
to
was
bring
it.
that up? Beautiful.
That's 3A.
it's 3.
That one.
Number 3, the fish, jewfish.
Yeah, let's go to the Jewfish.
Yeah, that's it. So that's our endemic dewy. So this is going from juvenile into mature because it's just starting to change there. They change their shape even as they get older.
Okay.
So so the endemic dewy is absolutely, everyone loves a bit of dewy
We
on their
certainly do.
plate. People don't, like you said, you didn't even know what they look like.
No,
when we loaded
I
it.
know what they taste like.
Yeah.
So, that's important.
So the jewfish and rock lobster kind of go together. They are species that cohabitate the same kind of reef system. So we have lineal reef systems that run up along the coastline. And so there are breaks between them, but still predominantly it's a limestone reef system,
Right.
intermittent with seagrass beds.
Okay.
So, and that's where they migrate along those reef systems and out over them out into deeper waters at different sort of stages of their life.
Okay.
And same for the jewfish. Some stay in, so it's got a lot to do with spawning as well. So hot water stops. That's where we have an issue because all of this hot water that's going to be out there mixing with this from the substations is going to cause interruption for mating and migration.
Yeah, that's
Now, hang on.
And that's the
hang
other
on.
thing. Not only does it kill larvae, it will actually stop them from mating because
Right.
they won't know what the seasons are going on. So it's a total. So you talk about using climate hysteria as your agenda to
Sure.
put this under. Garbage. This is causing interruption to all the natural
Wow.
system.
Well, global warming, that great title that they've renamed and remarketed how many
remarketed
times?
that,
I mean, it's been 1,000 different things. Climate change
Yeah.
before it was. I think I had
Ice age at one
Oh,
point too.
I think
Yeah.
I've lived through a nuclear winter as well.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure. There's been a few things.
Possibly.
I've discovered though that no matter how much I pay in tax, these
Yeah.
things just don't seem to change.
So yeah, the good old carbon tax, and that's why it's gonna kill fishing as well. So if you can imagine how many gallons of diesel are used, or
Oh.
how many liters of diesel are used by fishing vessels, that's another reason why they're hitting them all. So the fishing industry has been attacked non-stop for the last 2 decades. So we have fish stocks that are very well recovered. And we have sustainable practices in there. There's absolutely no excuse. So WAFIC, I challenge you to come and have a meeting with me and others that would like to ask, why are you not fighting this? Why is WAFIC not against offshore wind turbines? Why are they not going, wait a minute, we have a problem here because there's a
What I find
contradiction.
interesting is, just got on the fish subject, is when you do go to your fish market, particularly in the bigger chains, the horrible
Yeah,
places, everything's imported.
of course it is.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. 'cause
Yeah.
That's the same money that's behind all of this.
Yeah, okay,
So this
there
is
you go.
why
See?
get rid of all of our
The ugly
sustainable.
truth.
Yeah, that's correct.
You
That's
know
why
what?
it's the ugly truth is because they're destroying our strong communities, what's been the backbone of our nation. And the one thing I'll go back to
They've
again
done
is
it with
like,
the sheep now, they're doing it with the
yeah,
fish.
That's
and
right.
it's all male dominant industry. So what a great way to disempower men and make them feel like they've failed. And it's all by legislation, the stroke of a pen, and selling out to foreign corporations, foreign policies, World Economic Forum stuff.
We
So
don't
it's
have-
all on you. We know what you
We
do.
don't have statesmen anymore. We have
No.
politicians. We have these people who have gone
Career
to school,
politicians
career
too.
politicians. That's all they've ever been. They've never had a real job in their lives. I mean, look, right now, our
Yeah.
Prime Minister was literally a member of the Communist Party, right? He has never had a real job. He's been schooled in being a socialist and a communist all his life. And we are voting for this person, and we're allowing this person. And as I say, Bowen with his ridiculous. Bowen is
Not
particularly
Bowen
irritating.
therapy, by the way.
No.
Just
No,
saying.
Which is very
That's very
good.
good.
No.
It's the only Bowen I like, apart from the mangoes. Sorry.
There we go.
That's a two-man.
So, can you tell us about the effect on the humpback whale?
Yeah, so we've got a number of it's a superhighway. So this is a picture off the Bustleton coastline.
Oh, isn't
so
it
this is a
beautiful?
local photo.
Beautiful.
Absolutely spectacular. Had the opportunity to get out on the water with Senator Tyron Whitten, so he could have a full experience and speak to the researchers
Okay.
on the boats. And when we observed them, I had a very different experience than what I might have perceived I might have.
Mhm.
So in the morning, people had a lot of what's called a spy hopping, where their heads pop up and they look at you, they're like, who are you? What's happening? So they're very social.
Right.
By the time we got out there, it was like, it was mating time.
Right.
And she was just like slapping the water, like, come on, boys, let's go. And it was a little bit awkward,
Business
to be
time.
honest.
Okay, yeah, okay.
But that was perfect because it showed me so much to the point. It's like, we are in their territory.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
no right to stop their natural behaviours. And if we do, we are going to cause massive interruption to mating.
Mhm.
It's a birthing zone. This federal government has failed to upgrade it's as a critical environment.
Right.
So what it is that an environment for critical habitat and oh my God, my words aren't coming out. Critical habitat status.
Okay.
So they know it's a whale birthing zone, but they will not upgrade it, because if they do, they cannot put these industries in there, because there are certain legislations and laws they go into.
Force
But they
into a
are trying
category
to
there.
change it. So but this is a beautiful humpy. This is a humpback.
All right. Now
And
this-
then we've got the southern right whale. Then we've got the pygmy blue whale, which a lot of these whales don't even have enough data to actually properly protect them. So
Okay.
it's disgraceful. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
There we are.
look at him.
Beautiful.
Now, can we just pop
Magnificent.
back
Yeah.
to that? They're magnificent.
And that's
truly
a
magnificent.
pygmy blue whale. So that's a little bit smaller. The full blue whale is at least another third to almost double in size at the adult stage. So they are absolutely enormous. When they go under you, it feels just like this underwater sort of jet or big plane that just keeps going and going and
Wow.
going. And
Oh,
people
wow.
are so overwhelmed at their size that they have this emotional
What
reaction.
does this mean? Stop eating krill supplements.
So what it is that there's a lot of demand now through supplements for people to, they have krill tablets.
oil,
Krill oil
upstairs.
Krill oil.
instead of fish oil. Krill
So
oil.
okay, so they use krill oil, and what that is that blue whales in particular
Mhm.
eat that type
Okay.
of krill. So if you're taking that supplement, you're helping to the decline of this species directly. So they're very, very picky about what they eat, whereas humpbacks are a bit like, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, a bit of that'll do. They sort of like to mix it up, whereas the blue whale,
Right.
this is what they do, and it's particularly the pygmy blue whale, they'll eat krill.
Well, there you go. Look, many years
So
ago,
stop eating krill
Yeah.
oil. No. just
many years
stop.
ago, I was actually brekkie announcer down in Esperance, beautiful Esperance, right? And I loved it down there. Such a big part of the economy is
gorgeous
about
place.
the whales, right?
Mhm.
About the fact that tourism. It is, whether it be
Ecotourism.
working at the radio station, whether it be working at the local McDonald's, or I don't think they had a McDonald's back then.
Yeah.
It's a while ago. But the entire, what I'm saying is the town really rely on it. So again, it doesn't matter. Like if you're not a particularly environmental kind of person,
Mm.
just also think about the jobs and the
It's the
community
economy.
and the
Direct children and your
Yes,
grandchildren.
and look at the big picture here.
Mm.
Now, Ian's put another great comment there. I'd love for you to read that if you could, Leanne.
I will, yeah.
Thank you.
The only way you will make changes or get attention via elected members is to get the drop on them. Everyone, including myself, has skeletons in the cupboard. Gather intel on the individual through legal and legitimate processes and use it to the purposeful advantage. Lobbyists do it all the time.
They do.
I don't think we even need to dig too far, Ian. Like they've showed their hand anyway. They
Yeah.
know you're right, but they've already showed that they are now the proponents for the World Economic Forum, that foreign agendas and foreign money and those policies and those corporations are way more important than local communities, local industries, and generational businesses. And that's where you're talking about. That's what's going to absolutely
so many
destroy.
generational businesses have already gone under.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of generations, now thank you, Ian, for this point too about the Australian Union's super schemes holding control $4 trillion.
Yeah.
I'll say that again. There's a 4 with a whole
I
lot of
see
zeros.
that. Put all the zeros
So
in there.
CBUS are heavily
Just in case you
involved
can't
in
grasp it.
CBUS. If you've got your money in CBUS,
Yep.
I'd be getting onto your super and asking, do you invest in offshore wind turbines or on land turbines? And if you do, say, I want to withdraw that, and tell them you don't want your money invested in it.
Powerful way.
Yeah.
You can control so much. Exactly right. Where you open your wallet has so much to do with how the world moves, right? So, the great example there. Look, there's so much here that we can talk, and we'll continue.
We can talk underwater.
We certainly can. But guess where you want to do most of your talking? I want to see people there on the 7th of November. I want to see them there in Fremantle. I want to see them with their fists in the air and actually being passionate about this.
Yeah.
This is so important.
People should be
our future.
outraged.
They should be outraged.
They're
And
destroying
apart
our
from anything else,
culture.
do you like being taken for granted? Do you like being humiliated? Do you like the fact that your politicians, the ones who you pay every single day, right? Every time you buy anything, all their tax goes to pay these people, and they are treating you like you're stupid.
We have to start doing something and step out of our comfort zone.
Well, that's what we try and do here at Edge. That's what we're about to a big extent. Accountability is a very, very big thing. But I would ask,
It doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much.
And what I can say is that if you didn't like what was happening during COVID times and restrictions,
Yep.
you are really going to hate what they're coming up with this stuff.
Correct.
Because they're going to take away sustainable food sources, and you will have to have your credits to be able to have enough protein. Now, that's already started overseas, so people don't
What
call
does
me.
that mean, Martine?
So that what it is that if you're not complying to the government, that would be me. If you're not complying with what the government's saying, and if you're emitting or your impact of your life is creating too much CO2 emission for what they say is like okay, they will put your credit score down so much. It's communism. And so in that saying you've consumed too much CO2 this week, so for the next month, we're going to penalise you, and you can only have 2 or 3 sources of protein.
Yep.
That's exactly what they're doing.
And
That's
where
why
are
they're
they-
taking away our guns. We can't even
That's
Fine.
right.
do our
That's
own.
right.
And
wow.
where are they doing this now with the protein?
Well, they've already started doing it. They've got labelling of how much percentage that this food source is on your daily CO2 emission. It actually has it on the food now. So they've started
You
creating
don't be a
food
cattle
source.
farmer.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
cattle-
So
cow poo.
and
this is what I understand.
It is very real. Look, we've got
It's
copies
very real.
of the Light newspaper in front of us too. There's some great articles regarding these issues and many more. So grab yourself a copy of the Light, free to anybody who wants to spend a little time educating themselves. But this is look, the social credit system is here. It already exists. Countries like China and so forth are really, gone down that path big time. And look at the damage it's doing to so many people. It is coming to Australia. It is, as I say, it's already here, but it's certainly stepping up and up and up and up. When things are sold to you as being about virtue signaling, about your safety, any of these sorts of issues, you know straight away that you're actually having spin. You're not having facts. You are being lied to.
Yeah.
We really need to look at everything that the media says to you, right? And analyze it. And also take lots of different media in. Okay, obviously, Edge Radio Australia first and foremost. But after that, but get somebody on go to someone on the left. Go to someone on the right. Go to independent media. Have a look at what for me, the easiest barometer, and this might sound just a little bit sarcastic, but I really feel it. If I want to know what the world's doing right now, I look at what the mainstream media, if Channel 7, Channel 9, all that mob, if they're telling me to jump like 2 feet in the air, right, well, I want to go the other way. Because
the epitome would be the ABC, wouldn't it?
epitome is oh my word. The ABC is just nothing but an indoctrination propaganda machine. Everything they tell you to do, just do the opposite and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it might sound like just my sarcasm.
But they have landline. Don't go there anyway.
But it's
That's what I
true.
get told.
But what I'm saying, we live in a very strange time. We've got AI out there. We've got a lot of false information, a lot of misinformation, a lot of disinformation. It is now up to you to use the grey matter that you've
Discernment.
Are you
Yes.
for real or are you an AI figure?
got. If I was AI, I'd do better than this.
AI,
Okay? So come
Aaron
on.
Incorporated.
Aaron Incorporated.
I would look like a Greek god if I was AI. I wouldn't be choosing this little host. So no, please, just be passionate about life. Life is important that you have passion and find the right things. Things like this are about your children and your grandchildren. They should be your priority in life.
Yeah.
in my
So there was a couple of things. If we just go back to the last couple of photos and we can flick through them, because there are a couple of things here. So the one that I did
which ones? The whales?
it was the birds.
The albatross.
Or actually, it probably wouldn't hurt if
albatross?
people have just come in. Why don't I just flick them all up and then we
Okay.
can just go through them because it's important.
Yeah, if they've just joined.
So if I just, all right, so we've already done that one. We've already done the substation. If you've just come in and started listening, then go
there's
back
5
and
to
listen.
6 substations per
Right.
project. Yeah. Okay, so this is mutton bird. That's a migratory bird, and they migrate a lot at night. So what it is the red flashing lights at the top of the offshore wind turbines, because that's part of the navigation agreement for aerospace, like aerospace, or for
Aircraft, I guess.
aircraft agreements, is that they have to have red flashing lights at the top to be identified
Oh,
where
nice.
they are.
Christmas lights off there in the coast. Love
So
it.
they interrupt migration of turtles, mutton birds. This is the mutton bird that is at risk in Victoria.
Right.
So again, we are not just talking about what's happening just in WA. This whole symposium is discussing all of this. We are all in this
Great
together.
point.
And
Yes.
this is why people need to get their bottoms on the seats and
Yep.
ask these experts all those tricky questions, because there
Agreed.
is always going to be one question that comes from the audience that is going to be an absolute gem that someone said, oh my God, I've been waiting for someone to ask me that. And that's what we want.
And to your point too, obviously there was plans, and there still may be plans to head to Victoria with the symposium. But right now, let's focus on the fact that
we have it here.
Let's
That's
have it here.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, in good old Western Australia, in Fremantle, right there on the coast, looking at the beautiful Indian Ocean there. Right, this is a great
Geez,
opportunity
Nick, I
to
feel
represent
strange.
this entire country.
So, and the other one is the albatross. So that's the Tristan albatross is the other one that we just want to quickly touch on. We're talking about migratory birds. Migratory birds have a very high level of legislative or international protection.
Okay.
So the Australian government is essentially breaking international conventions.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah,
Mm.
really. So the Tristan albatross actually lives in the area of the offshore wind turbine zone.
Okay.
And because there's insignificant data, because this government hasn't bothered itself to go and double check all its statistics,
Mhm.
and it's been brought to its attention numerous times, the Tristan albatross is one of the birds that's actually at great risk.
Okay.
And because it is internationally protected, this government's actually left itself open for litigation. So that's why it's great, because we're going to have a barrister that's going to be there answering, again, all those really twisty questions that people can ask us, like, so about that matter, what does that look like when it comes to, like these kind of migratory birds, whether it's wetlands, but
Yep.
the Tristan albatross lives in the ocean.
Okay.
And it lives out in that zone where the offshore wind turbine are going to be built.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So here's what we need to do. Martine, look down the old barrel of the camera. I would like your elevator pitch here of why people should be there on the 7th of November here to be part of it. Who's involved? Some of the experts, the level of the experts, and the fact that you can ask these people any questions.
What I will tell you is that we are going down the same path that happened in the US, where we were steamrolled in communities, there was no consultation, and it was fast-tracked, and there were not measures put in place to stop the destruction. We have the chance to learn from that, step up and stop it. The expression is ride or die, and it's ride or die time now. They're about to start the marine surveys. What comes after that is a total cascade of decline, environmental impact, animal death, and it goes on from there. It is now. No one else is going to do this for us. If you didn't get up off your backside in the last 4 or 5 years and stand up for this yourself, your rights, and this nation, it is now. Because I tell you right now, once they go out, they're not going to stop, and they're going to put them through all of our oceans.
Now is the time. It's up there on the screen. If you'd like to get tickets, there are links on the Edge Radio Australia Facebook page, of course. Other links you'll find on the, Save Our Beloved
Geographe. You can certainly go and join that, but it's on Martine's Eco and Country Bites, Edge Radio Australia. All the links are there.
Please don't be shy. Please go get yourself a ticket. Please be part of this.
People
power will win, particularly when you get particular loudmouths behind this. It is important to be passionate about the things that really matter. So get there, bums on seats. This is not something you can do from home. Get there, be part of it. Thank you so much and to my co-host here and everybody, quite frankly.
Thanks.
Massive thank you. Lisa, thank you so much for your work behind the scenes, which has just been absolutely amazing.
You're welcome.
Leanne, as always, great questions. And of course, Martine, thank you for all of that knowledge.
You're
See
welcome.
you all next week.
See you at the symposium.
Thanks for being part of it. Of course, it's the one thing. You're on Edge Radio Australia.
Ever felt lost online finding the right businesses?
Absolutely, like a needle in a haystack.
Introducing the Worldwide Awake Business Directory.
Tell me more.
It's your hub for businesses sharing your values. Discover eco-friendly products, socially responsible services, and more.
Count me in. I'll check it out straight away.
Find businesses aligned with your values on the Worldwide Awake Business Directory. Start making a difference with every purchase.